So you're probably watching this video because you're curious about buying the Poco X3 Pro, but maybe you're also looking at the Redmi Note 10 Pro or other devices in Xiaomi's lineup. Here, people will get scrap anything if they can sell it. Now, for anyone curious, I'm actually filming this on a beta Gcam mod I have for the Redmi Note 10 Pro. I'm using a new lav mic I have. How do I look and sound? Today, it's going to be so you want to buy a Poco X3 Pro. Now, if you're curious about my whole playlist of videos in the So You Want to Buy a series, go ahead and click this button up here for a full playlist of all of Xiaomi's devices being compared head to head against each other. This game is pretty easy. We take the retail price of a device, we add or subtract $100 from it on either side, and then we compare it to all of the other devices in Xiaomi's lineup. Holy shit, look at all these cocks. Wow. Don't forget, guys, smash the subscribe button if you want to see the full long-term review of my Redmi Note 10 Pro. Also, if you guys are on Discord, let's connect on chat about devices over there. Seeing people 4 or 5 to a motorbike, totally normal where I live. Is it normal where you live, though? Now, before we start comparing the Poco X3 Pro versus all of the other devices in Xiaomi's lineup, we need to talk about some of the key specs. And if you're familiar with the Poco X3, you're going to be familiar with much of the Poco X3 Pro because a lot of things have gone unchanged. You're going to get the same 120 hertz LCD display. You're going to get the same 5,000 milliamp hour battery. You're going to get the same 33 watt wireless charging, wired charging. Oops. More important, you're going to get a worse camera in the Sony IMX582 versus the Sony IMX682, and you're not going to get the ability to record 4K 60. Arguably, the biggest difference between the Poco X3 Pro and the Poco X3 is the addition of the Snapdragon 855 or Snapdragon 860. They're the same processor, but this processor gives the Poco X3 Pro the best and 2-2 score to suggested retail price of any Xiaomi device. So if you're looking for the most computational hardware on a Xiaomi device for the lowest price, then the Poco X3 Pro is perfect for you. So the first device that we're comparing the Poco X3 Pro to is the Redmi Note 10 Pro. And this was a decision that I recently had to make. And this decision is actually pretty simple in my opinion. If you want a great all-around device and horsepower and 2-2 scores isn't your #1 priority, then the Redmi Note 10 Pro is arguably a much better device. It has the Samsung E3 AMOLED display at 120 hertz, same 5,000 milliamp hour battery, same 33 watt wired charging, but you're going to get the Samsung HM2 main sensor and you're going to get the same 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor that you would in the Poco X3 Pro. So really this comes down to camera sensor and screen versus benchmarks and a better CPU SoC. What's more important to you? Comment down below. Now the next device on this list is actually a brand new, recently released device. The Xiaomi Mi 11 Lite and Mi 11 Lite 5G. Now the Mi 11 Lite and Mi 11 Lite 5G both have 90 hertz Super AMOLED displays, 4100 milliamp hour batteries, 33 watt wired charging, no wireless charging, and really one of the biggest differentiators, in my opinion, between the Mi 11 Lite and Mi 11 Lite 5G versus the Poco X3 and Poco X3 Pro is going to come down to the Snapdragon 732G or Snapdragon 780G versus the Snapdragon 855. Another big difference between these two devices is the battery size. The Mi 11 Lite and Mi 11 Lite 5G, both of those devices have 4100 milliamp hour batteries, whereas the Poco X3 Pro packing a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. For my money, I'm going to go with the Poco X3 Pro. And here I am at my gym I'll catch up with you guys after my workout. All done with my workout. Next thing on this list is the Redmi Note 10, just the regular Redmi Note 10. And I don't want to discourage people away from buying a product. I just think that there's a pretty big difference in regards to the overall experience that you can expect between the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Redmi Note 10. For my money, if I have to save up an extra $80 or $100 to get a Redmi Note 10 Pro, I really think that the faster processor, higher refresh rate screen, better camera, all of those little things add up to an experience that, although is mid-range, kind of hits a little bit higher than like the mid-range experience. So I'm not getting a Redmi Note 10. Now is a great time to remind you guys, if you want to support me, you can use my affiliate links or use Brave browser and donate some of your crypto to me. If you want to connect with me, Discord's the best place. I'm on there all the time doing live streams with you guys, answering questions, and if you guys just want to have like a chit chat with some other people, there's always Twitter. I love talking to you guys on Twitter, connecting with you guys, answering questions. One of my Twitter followers just was talking to me about how he's leaving Xiaomi to get the Samsung A52 or A72, one of the new Samsung devices, after him and I had been talking about which Xiaomi device to get, and that got me thinking, do you guys want me to review some more Samsung devices on this channel? Let me know. Because when someone hits you, you're getting in an accident, the number one thing that you do is you stop in the middle of the road to argue about it. And that's just how stuff is done. Last and final device on this list is actually the Mi 10T Lite. And this gets pretty confusing. The Mi 10T Lite has the same 120 Hz LCD display as the Poco X3 Pro. It's got a Snapdragon 750, which is a slightly newer processor and a 5G capable processor compared to the Poco X3 Pro. It's got a slightly newer and better camera, but overall, as a package, I'm still probably gonna get the Poco X3 Pro over the Mi 10T Lite. Really guys, at the end of the day, the Poco X3 Pro is exactly what we thought it was. The Poco X3 Pro is the highest Antutu score you can get for the least amount of money. Everything else about the device, outside of maybe the battery and the charging, is a price-cutting compromise for the Poco X3 Pro. And that's not to say that it's a bad device, but if you are after the best Antutu score, let's say because you are a mobile gamer, then the rest of the aspects of the Poco X3 Pro are not that impressive. That said, I think that this is the perfect device for the person that wants a device to work with custom ROMs, that wants to mobile game, that wants a really, really powerful SoC, but doesn't want to spend a lot of money. Now, if you guys enjoy this series of videos, the So You Want to Buy series of videos, then go ahead and let me know what device you want me to compare next in the comment section down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and let me know, how did the video from my Redmi Note 10 Pro look? Peace.